150 episodes, the Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime has literally hit a very interesting milestone in its lifetime. Welcome everyone, Sanju Uchiha here and welcome back to the channel. I literally haven't posted anything in a while, so I hope everyone's doing well. I know with the current crisis that we're all experiencing, and of course, depending on your country, I would imagine the the degree to how like you're quarantined or the degree of the curfews, it varies. But for the most part, I hope everyone's doing well. Stay safe, stock up on food. Hope you and the fam are great, honestly. So yeah, it's just so you just have to do what you have to do basically. But yeah, welcome back guys. So today we'll be talking about the Boruto anime, which with this coming Sunday actually marks the 3-year anniversary of the Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime. So I thought it would only be fitting that I talk about my experience with the Boruto anime, especially as a Westerner who I feel may have, generally speaking, as Westerners, I feel that we may have like a differing opinion from the persons in Japan who may or may not be enjoying the Boruto anime as well. Of course, be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so hopefully we can meet that target. I would appreciate the support. And yeah, of course, as per usual, leave a comment. Let's have a discussion. Nothing too crazy, or probably crazy would be good in this day and age. But yeah, so Boruto Naruto Next Generations, 150 episodes. It's insane to think that we've reached this far, where the series is concerned. But at the same time, I've had a very like up and down experience with the Boruto anime. With this video, I just want to have a casual discussion with you guys, nothing too serious, nothing too crazy. Just tell me your experience and what your opinions are on the Boruto anime as well in the comment section. So yeah, Boruto Naruto Next Generations, 150 episodes. It's insane. There are a lot of anime that actually don't even go, they don't even register that amount of episodes. But at the same time, looking back on the Boruto anime and comparing it to other anime that may have less episodes, I feel like the Boruto anime just hasn't been hitting those story beats. Honestly, I feel like a lot of anime with less episodes manage to get us more invested into their characters, their story, their world in general, with less screen time than what Boruto has currently. So yeah, I'm just saying, and I feel that's the experience I've been having with the Boruto anime for the last 3 years, if I'm being honest. So yeah, no. Wow, it's crazy. Looking back on it, when Naruto ended the manga, we definitely had a vast amount of material. It was the time where, how did they phrase it, the Naruto New Era project, where we had Naruto the movie, of course, Boruto the movie, the extra 10 chapters for the manga, which was what, Naruto, the Seventh Hokage, and the Scarlet Spring, keeping up with the Uchihas. That's what they should have named it. If I'm being honest, we had a bunch of novels, stage plays, exhibitions, etc. The works. Of course, the Naruto Shippuden anime wouldn't end until 2017, which is insane, 3 years later. And at the same time, like the craziest thing happened. Like the Naruto New Era project aside, right? I don't think a lot of us expected to get a full-blown continuation of the Naruto franchise like this until 2016, when the Boruto manga dropped, which unfortunately recapped the Boruto movie. But at the same time, once it went past chapter 10 and started covering the Mujina Bandits arc, it was at that time I feel like a lot of us pretty much more or less knew that we'd be getting a Boruto anime eventually, but not to the degree, at least not as early as we did. In 2017, when Naruto Shippuden ended with episode 500, the Boruto anime started literally 2 weeks after. And there lies in one of my biggest problems where the Boruto anime is concerned. It came too soon. It just blew its load. Like it's crazy. No, you might be asking, like, what's the problem if it starts too soon? I mean, I guess a lot of persons can't just segue into the new era right away. Of course, disclaimer, of course, I don't know the TV ratings there in Japan where Boruto is concerned, but considering it's 150 episodes in, and it's even made it that far. I imagine all stakeholders are making the money at the same time. So yeah, but at the same time, I still feel like it's started too soon. It goes back to what I'm saying, that a lot of different anime actually managed to get us more invested into the story, into their stories with less episodes. And I feel Boruto with 150 episodes, even though it has its moments of brilliance, I would honestly admit, for me personally, I still think that it hasn't done a good enough job where its runtime has been concerned, especially when you compare it to Naruto. Now, of course, I know Boruto is being its own thing and Naruto is its own thing, but really, really and truly compare it. 150 episodes into Boruto and 150 episodes into Naruto. Which series do you feel more invested in? Of course, Naruto. So, no shit. But at the same time, I'm saying, well, not even at the same time. All I'm saying is that Boruto hasn't done a good job with its runtime, honestly. For the most part, I think what's driving it, especially for me, no, not even especially for me, but if I was an anime only watcher and I did not read the manga, I would honestly feel like the only thing that driving me to continue to watch Boruto is the fact that, it has characters, it's in a universe that I'm familiar with, Naruto, and I feel from a quality standpoint, that's one of the major things that's driving my investment into the Boruto anime. And of course, to see where whenever they adapt the stuff from the manga. Um so yeah, not a very good experience between me and the Boruto anime for the last 3 years, if if I do say so myself. So yeah, too soon. Honestly, that's a major driving point for this video. And going back to even when the whole Naruto New Era project, honestly, the Boruto anime honestly did not have to start yet, if I'm being honest. It's like the way the Boruto side of the franchise is set up, it's really I mean, things are set up to not necessarily feel, but they're set up to drag on. And this is what I mean. When you have the Boruto anime starting like 2 weeks after Naruto, and this is like probably a year or less since the Boruto manga started, and then the Boruto manga in itself is a monthly manga. So in terms of like page number, so far you'd basically be getting less pages than if it was a weekly series. Then you kind of set yourself up to introduce a lot of, well, quote unquote filler, quote unquote, because of course a lot of the things in the Boruto anime aren't really filler, but they still give that filler feeling, because at the end of the day, no matter how you slice and dice it, even if I'm going to argue and say they are canon to the story, it still adds to the fact that it adds to the feeling of the story not going anywhere. And as I said, I compared it to Naruto earlier. At least with Naruto, I kind of felt like the story was going somewhere. And it's not going to be until the end of the Mujina Bandits arc that's currently airing in the anime that you're going to actually get that feeling of the story going somewhere. Honestly. And that's not to say I'm not going to like totally beat the Boruto anime. A lot of the arcs, even though I feel they could be reworked to actually flow better or feel more, like make the story feel like it's going somewhere. I saw what a lot of the arcs were trying to do. Of course, you have the initial arc with Sumeri, kind of gives her backstory. And I feel like it could have been, rewritten a bit, better. Of course, I saw what they were trying to do with the whole Land of Waves arc. That could have been better. I love the getting graduation exams. Of course, the Boruto Naruto the movie retelling was, I loved it in the anime. Of course, the Mitsuki stuff was good. His desertion of the village was decent. We had the stuff with Jugo. What did we have after that again? Wow. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of moments and just how things have been handled in the Boruto anime, because of the nature of it, kind of just feels pretty forgettable. Honestly, that's just been how I viewed the Boruto anime to date. I like it, but it is a far cry from the adaptation that was Naruto back in the day. So that's really and truly it. But that being said, with the wealth of material that was there for the Naruto New Era project, I feel like they could have delayed Boruto a bit. We had a number of Naruto novels that took place between chapter 699 and 700, the about 15-year time skip, give or take. And I feel like the time should have been invested in like probably doing OVAs, probably like two OVAs a year or so. Just kind of fleshing out the we had the Shikamaru novel in the Naruto Shippuden anime, but based on what I'm hearing, it didn't really do a good job of capturing everything from that novel. We still don't have the Kakashi novel adapted. There's a Sakura novel. We did have some adaptations for the Sasuke novels, but even those felt like they could have been better at the same time. Um, I just feel like the time should have been used to flesh out more of these novels, more of the expanded universe material before diving straight ahead into Boruto. And a lot of the Boruto anime original arcs should have been given more time. Like probably the writers should have gotten more time to write and think about how these arcs are going to actually work and flow, and of course tie back into the manga so they actually work well and contribute to the larger narrative. Because honestly, at the end of the day, right now in the Boruto manga, which I've basically been enjoying reading from month to month. It's not perfect, but it's still a far step up from the anime, to say the least. But honestly, a lot of the things in the anime just haven't been contributing back to the manga. The only thing that's been contributing back to it is just the fact that Sumeri, the class rep, is making an appearance in the manga from time to time, and of course, personally, I'm projecting her to have a bigger role as we go along. But other than that, all the other arcs just felt like they're forgettable, honestly. And as I said, with the whole setup of the Boruto franchise, since it started, like most of the material in the Boruto franchise kind of started like a hair's length within each other. Things are just set up to drag on, and I feel that contributes to the reason why a lot of us here in the West don't really like the quality of it. We don't remain invested in it, so it ends up being that a lot of persons basically drop off of the Boruto anime. And for persons who probably read Naruto till its end or watched it till its end, honestly, personally here in Jamaica, a lot of persons that I watched are watch and read Naruto with me don't really even keep up with Boruto anymore. They're just not interested. I mean, life happens, yes, but yeah, honestly, that's really it. It's just set up to drag out, so it kind of feels like it's reinforcing the notion that I'm like it's a money grabbing, money milking thing at the end of the day. So yeah, that's really and truly it. Um, but at the same time, as I said, it does seem like it's doing well over there in Japan. So the stakeholders definitely getting their money at the same time. So who am I, a lowly Westerner, to voice my opinion on the quality of the Boruto anime, right? But at the same time, the facts are the facts, and you can't dispute that with 150 episodes in, if you're an anime only watcher, can you honestly sit there and tell me that you have an idea of where the story is going? Honestly, do you really have an idea of where the story is going? If you have avoided spoilers and everything from the manga, can you honestly tell me that? I just don't think so. It kind of feels like the anime could just go on forever telling these one-off stories, yada yada yada. And with the nature of the Boruto Sailor franchise, with it being like setting itself up to drag on, especially with especially the anime. And this is something I've mentioned already. It's like with that setup, Boruto's character, the main character, he has to have some soft reboots into his characterization every arc. He literally feels like he's not growing at the rate that he should be growing with 100, us being 150 episodes in. Like, I just don't think you guys are getting what I'm saying. 150 episodes. Think about that. And this is an unfair like comparison, honestly. Like, I think something is wrong when I can watch 3 to 4 episodes of Demon Slayer and be more invested in Tanjiro as a character than watching 150 episodes of Boruto and just feeling, eh, he's alright. And he's the main character for crying out loud. I think there's something fundamentally wrong with that. Even if you want to draw the argument that your Demon Slayer it's seasonal and all of that, and there's more time put into, producing the one season. No, no, no. I think there's something fundamentally wrong with that, honestly. If you have 150 episodes of your show and I just don't feel all that invested in your main character, then I think something is wrong from a quality standpoint with your show. Now, this is not to like not Boruto as a character, because I feel like in the manga he's much further than where he is now in the anime, honestly. So I think he's an alright plus main character. Not the best in the world and the most complex. Doesn't necessarily have to be at the same time, but definitely leagues above where the anime is. So yeah, 3 years of the Boruto anime, and I just don't think it's done a good job. The setup of the Boruto era of the franchise has, for lack of a better term, it was rushed, honestly. 2 weeks into your sequel anime series, and I think that says it all. Having a monthly manga, the manga starting in 2016 is fine, but the decision to start the Boruto anime in 2017, like a year after the Boruto manga starts, the Boruto manga, which is monthly and starts with the Boruto Naruto the movie retelling, you have to, in some shape or form, you're gonna have to come up with content way before that point in time in the story, which it's just gonna add to the feeling of the series, the show just not going anywhere. And of course, honestly, it doesn't really matter what I say at the end of the day, because you'll still have a new generation, a new set of viewers that are gonna be invested in it. I'm still invested, but hey, I'm just speaking my piece. Honestly, it's just my experience, my opinion, everything. With the wealth of material I feel that was established in the Naruto New Era project, I feel that we should have it. We should have been having some OVAs and some expansions, just some specials between, say, we had the Boruto movie in 2015, so 2016, 2017, 2018. Honestly, I think the Boruto anime should have started like, say, last year. The earliest if I had my way, the earliest I would have started the anime would have been like 2018, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that's just it. That's just me. My experience with the Boruto anime and what my opinion is on it. So yeah. But anyway, let me know what your opinion is. Let me know what you thought about my thoughts and just the just start and just how things have kind of played out with the Boruto anime for the most part. At the end of the day, 3 years, it's still a good thing that it actually made it this far. And of course, we're getting into manga territory. We're already in manga territory, and we still have a wealth of material that they can actually adapt for the Boruto anime. So at the same time, has its problems, but we can only go up from here, hopefully. But anyway, Sanju Uchiha, be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Sorry for this long casual talk, but hey, hope some of you guys enjoyed it. So stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.